Ambassador Buratai reveals harsh truths about terrorism in Nigeria, Niger, Libya, and others. Emerging facts have revealed that Africa has accumulated losses worth $15.5 billion between 2007 and 2016. These facts were reeled out by Ambassador Tukur Yusuf Buratai, Nigeria's ex-High Commissioner to the Republic of Benin. He stated this at the 17th Africa Security Watch Awards and Conference in Gambia while delivering a lecture on counter-terrorism and counter-insurgency. Former Nigeria's High Commissioner to the Republic of Benin, Ambassador Tukur Yusuf Buratai, has reeled out some of the shortcomings of terrorism and the futilities of terrorism. Speaking at the 17th African Security Watch Awards and Conference in Gambia, Buratai said that the African continent had suffered a huge loss monetarily in combating terrorism. Buratai, who delivered a lecture titled Counterinsurgency and Counterterrorism, Causes, Challenges, Lessons, and Deterrence, said Africa's loss has accumulated in billions of dollars while revealing that the cost of managing and combating terrorism in the African continent has increased from $1.54 billion in 2007 to $15.5 billion in 2016. He attributed this loss to the impact of the increasing conflict in affiliated Islamic states in the African continent. So, Buratai speaks on major challenges in combating terrorism. The former Nigerian Army chief revealed that the issue of abduction and requests for ransom by terrorists and rebel groups in the African continent had become a major problem in the fight against terrorism. Buratai said these challenges are now predominant in the Sahel and sub-Saharan Africa. He said these insurgents and terrorists see hostage-taking as a means to extract money from the government, local and international organizations, and even ordinary citizens struggling to survive. It is an irony that the insurgents and terrorists now compel locals to fund their criminal activities through ransom payment. He further revealed that funding counterinsurgency and counterterrorism is a big challenge in Africa. The ambassador said funding such a huge monetary project requires huge investment, and Africa does not possess such capacity as the Western nations. He said Africa could not afford another wave of intractable war that would distort development and growth in continent. Buratai said already the Russians are in many countries of Africa: Libya, Sudan, Mozambique, Madagascar, Central African Republic, and Mali, focusing principally on protecting the ruling or emerging government elites and critical infrastructures. And I can tell you that they are not there for charity. They get paid in money and, in most cases, concessions to minerals and military bases. So Buratai also shares a message of hope in fighting terrorism. The former army chief, however, stated that there is hope in the fight against terrorism in Africa. He said the challenges attached to terrorism in Africa could be clamped down if necessary proactive measures are taken. He said the African story, regardless of what is happening in some parts of the Sahel and sub-Saharan Africa, is not a story of failure and hopelessness, and our challenges are surmountable if we can buckle up, look inwards, take responsibility for our actions and conditions, and work together to salvage the continent. President Buhari also conferred CFR National Honor on Ambassador Buratai as well. In another development, Legit NG had earlier reported that the full list for the year 2020 Two national honor had been released with over 400 personalities as recipients. Former Army Chief and former Nigeria's ambassador to the Republic of Benin, T.Y. Buratai, was among this year's recipient. President Muhammadu Buhari conferred Buratai with the National Award of Commander of the Order of the Federal Republic, CFR. All right. So what Burata is saying here, because he went to Gambia for lecture on counter insurgency and counter-terrorism, now he's trying to tell us the mayhem or the problem that terrorism and insurgency is presenting to Africa. He didn't mention Nigeria here. Sometimes I wonder how governments operate. Buratai, that under his nose, all right, Boko Haram and ISWAP ravaged northeastern Nigeria. He couldn't stop it. But when there was a protest in Lagos against the SARS policemen, tagged NSAS, he quickly sent soldiers to Lagos to kill these young youths that are protesting on the behavior of SARS. And they did extrajudicial killing of innocent people at Lekki Phase 1 toll gate here in Lekki. And meanwhile, this man, immediately he finished, when the trouble was too much, he left, and the next thing they gave him a Nigerian ambassador to Benin Republic. Just because they are all Fulanis. There's no way Buratai can tell us that he does not know the activity of Fulanis across all West African countries that he's mentioning here. He mentioned Central African Republic, he mentioned Gambia, he mentioned Mozambique, he mentioned Madagascar. He didn't mention Nigeria there. So this man actually should be questioned. He knows what the Fulanis are doing across Africa, because they are the people under their nose. They open the northern border for all the Fulani Islamic jihadists from other West African countries into Nigeria to take charge of Nigeria. Now, when the locals, he's talking about what the Fulanis are doing to the locals or the terrorists. He's not calling them Fulanis, now he's calling them terrorists because he's a Fulani. And it's his Fulani herdsmen that are causing the problem. Now, he's talking about how these bandits and terrorists are going from community to community, forcing them to pay, collecting money from them, from government and from agencies to fund their terrorism activities. Didn't you know about them? You were at the helm of affairs in the military. You were in charge of security. What did you do in Nigeria? And how did you translate what you did to the rest of African nations to make life easy? He's going to deliver lectures. This man, I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't understand. And people are listening to him, saying all the rubbish he's saying here. This guy cannot tell us he does not know what is happening. And at the end of the day, what Buhari did was to add him in the list of 400 people for national awards. And they awarded to him CFR. And now he has blood in his hands because he left. Normally, when the community people are tired, they'll fight back on the bandits. But in Nigeria, under Buratai's watch, when the helpless villagers fight back on the Fulanis and the terrorists, this man will send soldiers to go and attack the communities. And Buhari is saying that those herdsmen should be accommodated. When they are causing mayhem in communities, instead of you to call your people to order, you are telling the communities to keep quiet and accommodate them, even with the problem they are giving them in their communities, collecting their farmlands, raping their women and their mothers, and then killing some of them and collecting ransom, kidnapping and maiming. You still say they shall accommodate them. Who will accommodate an enemy in his house? Can Buhari do it? Can Buratai do it? It's quite unfortunate that these people will commit crime against humanity and still move freely in the air, collecting awards as if they have done well. Well, God will help us. It's quite unfortunate that we're in this mess. Somebody is saying here, I want the comments, Fulani people are the main terrorists causing havoc in Africa. No place Fulani found themselves that peace will ever exist. Somebody is saying they are the unknown government troubling the East, and that is true. I concur. Absolutely correct. Somebody is saying they are always deceiving themselves, period. All right? Somebody is saying, please keep your words to your children. The judgment day is coming. That's what somebody is telling Buratai. Because what Buratai is doing is just playing lip service and thinking he's free and thinking he's going away with the crime he committed against humanity in Nigeria. Nigeria has no high commission in the Benin Republic. It has an embassy because Benin is not a member of the Commonwealth. Karma is coming. We can never believe or trust you. Many soldiers complain about you. We have the videos that were made public. No wicked shall go unpunished. Yes, his tenure as the chief of army staff was wicked. He killed, but under him, the non-Islamic soldiers, the Southern soldiers, Middle Belt soldiers were killed. Under his nose, they were reintegrating Boko Haram back into the military. And he's coming here to tell us one thing. Mention some of those proactive measures: steady electric power supply, establishment of industries, reviving all the old abandoned ones. All these will create massive employment and will boost the economy of Africa continent. But they won't do them. They won't do them. They won't do them. So somebody is saying the best chief of army staff so far met Nigerian army at its lowest level, but boosted it up. The army that were running away in the face of Boko Haram attack, maneuvering to Cameroon when he took over, suddenly became an army. All right, they could confront Boko Haram. Somebody is talking on his behalf here. This person should keep quiet because what he's saying is not true. What he's saying is not true. We know what transpired in the army and in the military under the leadership of Buratai. You, Buratai, are you not one of the commanders of the terrorists? Or what are you trying to prove now? It's true. They are the people causing problem in Nigeria. They are the people causing problem. They have one uniform now. And a lot of people like him are going to spring up now that they've reintegrated Boko Haram into the army. It's unfortunate. Really unfortunate. It's really unfortunate. So thank you for listening. And this is what Buratai is saying in his lecture about counter-terrorism and counter-insurgency in Gambia when he went for meeting there to deliver lecture there. So please, let's have your comment below as well.